What's up, guys? Welcome to the Crypto Savvy channel. I'm Craig, and we're going to be going over the charts. We're going to take a look at the DXY. We're going to take a look at the macro and Bitcoin. Then we're going to break it down into the 4-hour. Then we're going to look at BNB. Same chart we've been looking at for a long time. See where we're at. Also, XRP, the chart no one's talking about. Everybody wants to show you what happened in the last year. When you look at the big picture, it's a lot more clear. So let's take a look at it. First, we're going to talk about the DXY, but before we begin, make sure you take 1 second out, scroll down, smash the thumbs up. I do appreciate it. It helps get these videos out. Also, you guys can leave a comment, which also helps. Another thing you can do is check out the links below. I do have my socials down there if you want to follow me on social media or join the free Discord. So let's get into it. You guys know I've been talking about the biggest money grab in history. Also, the crypto washout, where we wash out all the crypto scams. That's what happens in bubble pops. I'll talk about that a little more at the end, but let's get into it. Let's look at the DXY. So the DXY, you can see what happens every time here. We get these falling wedges and then we get big pushes up. Does seem like we are making a falling wedge here. We have much higher targets for the DXY. As you guys know, I think with all the dollar is dead things, I do believe when they do the crypto washout, when it continues, also when the markets start crashing harder, which I do believe is coming very, very soon, people will put their money into the dollars, smart money. They'll rise as the markets crash. They'll get into the dollar will rise. And then when the markets get towards the bottom, possibly towards the end of this year, then everybody will get back, smart money will get back out of the dollar into the low priced assets and ride them up for a very long time. This is not doom and gloom. There is huge opportunity coming, in my opinion. Of course, none of this is financial advice, but I do believe there are huge opportunities coming in all markets for, the rest of your life. You could ride the markets up if this plays out this way. So let's talk about the DXY. So you can see here on a white falling wedge. If we do get back up and get rejected on the top of this wedge, there is the possibility of one more touchdown, and that would be somewhere in this range here for rejection, around 103. And that you can see the dotted trend lines here as this falling wedge. If we do break up from here, we have a target around 106. If that breaks, we have other targets as well, and we take a measured move of this here. We do break up, that gets us right back to around double top range, around 114. We also have this target of this bigger falling wedge here. If we do break that 103 area, 103.5, somewhere in that range, that would get us somewhere up into 114 to 115 range, right? That would probably be a big drop for Bitcoin. Maybe that is the timing of when it goes down. As you guys know, I still think the bottom's going to be sometime in September or October, possibly a little longer. Maybe we run into November. Either way, I still think we have lower lows coming this year for Bitcoin. Let's take a look at the weekly. So I've been showing you guys this chart for a while. The weekly hidden bearish divergence in the big pattern, right? And then we have this regular bearish divergence in yellow right here. We had higher highs in the price action, lower highs in the RSI. What you could do here is draw a trend line from these bottoms right here. If we break this weekly trend line, we'll probably come back up, test it for support. But I think that's going to be a pretty massive drop if that does happen, guys. And that could get us to our bottom by the end of this year. As you guys know, if you watch my videos, I believe the bottom is going to be somewhere between 37 and 9,700. Nevertheless, I still think we break these lows. This is looking at it as a 5-wave structure, right? Coming down. And no, that's not the Elliott wave 5-wave structure. That is a bubble pop. And as I've showed you guys in a lot of bubble pops before, they usually come down in 5 big waves like this, right? I'll show you that at the end of the video. But that is one count. There is another count that shows a falling wedge. Either way, still getting down to that 37 to 9,700 in my opinion. This yellow line right here is this low right back here after our high. Our first low was around 32.9. If we break above that, then we maybe could start looking like the bottom is in. But until then, I do not think the bottom's in. As you can see here in the MACD, every time we had the MACD cross on the weekly, signaled a top, signaled a top. This one signaled this top. Here's another, signaled the top. Actually, it was right here. Signaled that top there. And as of right now, we had a fake out, came back up. But again, the weekly MACD did close with it crossing here. So it is showing, if nothing else, trade with caution here. If you are a hodler and you don't mind hodling for a very long time, you may be okay, but there may be way better opportunities to buy, in my opinion. Before we get into the 4 hour, definitely check out Prime XBT, by far my favorite exchange. They do help sponsor the channel. You can use my promo code Savvy50. That'll get you up to a $7,000 bonus to use towards your margin. Savvy25 will get you 25% off your fees. As you can see, I set up charts, 15-minute, 1 hour, 4 hour, daily. You can set these charts up however you want, but you can trade crypto, Forex, metals, S&P, Dow Jones, natural gas, everything all from one exchange without having to, switch exchange to exchange or have multiple accounts. You can do it all from one exchange. You get multiple trades in. Definitely check them out if you haven't already. By far my favorite exchange. As you can see, they don't have the big huge scam wicks like you see on the other exchanges here. All right, the 4 hours. So we're looking at this as a possible wave count coming down, right? We put this here way back up here. I had showed you guys the video of where I said 31.5, I believe, would have been the top. That was about 5 months ago. We did get up to 31.8. Nevertheless, it does look like we topped out. And if this wave count's correct, you can see I have the fibs drawn in here, right? And if that's correct, we are getting rejected right here at the 0.618. But we do have chances to come up. Now, these are the spots to look for rejections, right? If we do make it up to these levels, if we get a bounce here. Remember, guys, it's usually not going to be straight down. There's going to be bounces. But so far, if you guys were following me back here, we're doing very well in these shorts. I have the blue targets here, right? So this was wave 1, 2. 3 would be around 26.6 range, somewhere in that range. And that is the 1.618, which is usually where the third wave goes. And then I would expect a bounce there to somewhere in the range of 28,000, and then that would be wave 4, and then wave 5 down here to 26.1. If this does happen, then I would expect another, probably a big rally up into the $30,000 range, somewhere in there, and then a continuation down. Now, let's take a look. Let's put our fibs from this low back here up to the high and see where we're sitting on these fibs. So we'll go down to this low, up to the high. Let me move this down a little bit right there. All right, and look where we're at now. So where are we? We blew through our 0.236, blew through our 0.382 now. Now that should be resistance. So let's take a look at where that's at. Right around, let me change the color of this. We'll make that red also. Around 29.2. This should be resistance now. If that does break, then then we start looking at coming back up to these levels. 29.6 and then the 30,200, 30,100 range, which would line up with our trend lines, right? We also have these targets. Looking at the breakdown from this rising channel is around 27.5. And then we have this white, looking at this as a broadening wedge, where we broke down from. That would get us to around 27,000, 27,100, somewhere in that range, right? But as of right now, everything is still looking bearish, in my opinion. Unless we blow back above these, then it may turn around. But other than that, we do have another target of that 23.9. Remember, if that breaks this low from right here, that could change everything. But as long as we don't break that, I'm still bearish here. I still think we're going to have a huge washout. I think we're going to witness the biggest money grab in history, which could also be the biggest opportunity of all of our lifetimes. So anyways, that's what I'm looking at. So if this does play out, looking for 26.6 within the next week or so, and then bounce back up to 28, and then back to this 26.1, and then we could reevaluate if that does play out in them directions. Here's our daily chart. We've been talking about this, a break of this trend line. We also have 21.7 as our 0.618 right here, which is the golden pocket zone from this move here, right? And I do believe there is a very good possibility we at least hit that 21.7. Probably get a big bounce. Once we break this bottom trend line, though, I think it'll be pretty quick to the downside. BNB, you guys been following me know I was talking about this FTX chart compared to BNB. Seems to be playing out beautifully. Could look just like FTX if this does crash. Best case scenario, in my opinion, here are some bounce levels: 188.9, 148. And these are just measured moves from up here, and then 69. If we get a bounce and it holds 69, that could be very bullish for BNB. But if we break below that, guys, could be very devastating. Now, XRP. So I drew these. You see the yellow trend line on the top off of these wicks, right? If we were to come back up and tag this wick again, would be somewhere around $1. But what I've been showing you on the weekly, we never open or close a candle above this weekly trend line, guys. These are just hype cycles, right? Major hype here, obviously. Then we had our huge dump, then another big hype. This is just a hype coin, in my opinion. I honestly don't think XRP will ever go anywhere anytime soon anyways. Not saying Ripple's a bad product, but XRP, there's no need for it. You could put any coin. So if someone wanted to use Ripple, they could create their own coin and use it on Ripple, right? I don't think it'll be XRP. Why would, if the banks ever did use Ripple, why would they use XRP and let people, own it and make money? They'll come out with something new if they ever were to do that. And people say, but they partnership with banks. Well, I can give a bank Savvy coins. They take them. They're not going to tell me no if they're worth something, right? I give them Savvy coins and I can legally say they partnered with me when all they did was take my coins and they can dump them. So it's just something to think about, something a lot of people don't talk about. Anyways, we are still opening and closing below this white trend line here. So if we came back down to retag this trend line going off of these two bottoms here, that would get us down to somewhere around 25 cents. If that breaks, we could go as low as 4 cents. So be careful. Now here is the .com bubble, the crypto washout, right? What got washed out over here in the Amazon.com bubble? Tons of .coms, right? Pet.com. There were just tons of them. They all got washed out in this. And then only the strong ones survived for the rally in the coming years, right? Took 20 years to break this all-time high, just to put it in context for you. So as you can see, same thing in this whole bubble pop. Here's the weekly RSI. Once it broke, that was the false bottom. This was over 100% rally. Doesn't look like it. It just went low, right? This is a 100% rally here from the break of the weekly trend line, only to come back down and make a new lower low. As we talked about for almost 2 years now, getting a false bottom, getting a big bear rally, 100% rally, getting everyone bullish again just to take it. That is how bubbles pop, right? They always have these 100% rallies, sometimes only 70, whatever. They seem huge. People get super bullish, and then it comes back down to where it began. You can see the red line here. Line this up with that bubble pop. So here's where the bubble started, right? And then you can see it came back to where the bubble began. I do believe Bitcoin will do the same thing. Same thing happened in Nintendo, right? Here's a big, huge rally. Got everyone super bullish. No way it could go any lower. Huge bounce, bottoms in, and made a new lower low, right? Same thing. Came back right to where it began. We should come back to where we began here if this plays out the way I believe. Same thing with Sony. Look at Sony. Had huge rallies. Well, they seemed huge because I'm sure people were looking at them like this, right? Oh my God, that's huge. Same thing they do with Bitcoin with this one right here, right? That's how bear markets work. That's how they trick people into holding or, you call it what you want, hodling, or they just, get people to buy because the bottom's in and everything is amazing and everyone's going to get rich, right? But they always return back to where the bubble began. I do believe we will see these lows, guys. So be careful, be cautious, and I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Don't forget to smash like, share the video if you belong to any groups or just on your Twitter, whatever. I do appreciate it. It helps get the video out there. And without your help, these videos don't get out there. So just take a second out, smash the likes, leave your comments below. I'll see you in the next video, guys. Check out these videos up top. This one's from December 2nd, 2021, where I told you about all of this. Anyways, have a great day. I'm out.